is up, guys? It's your boy Alex, and had some phlegm there for a second. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, welcome back to the Brave Lionheart channel, and we are back with some more reaction videos. And today, ladies and gentlemen, this is sadly kind of a late request for someone's late birthday. And it's actually an actor, well, two actors actually. Now, the reason I couldn't get this on their actual birthday, or I couldn't get this video out on their actual birthdays, well, I had work. And normally I would do videos over the weekend, but I had work, so I couldn't get a video out on the weekend. So apologies in advance to the person that sent in this request. I had work and I just couldn't get to it in time, and plus I was busy dealing with, getting a birthday ready for my sister's boyfriend and everything, so there's that. Anyway, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this video now, so it's kind of a late birthday kind of thing. Again, happy birthday to them. Anyway, this is a special Dead Meat Kill Count request on the very first Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Now, the reason why this was requested was because it was both Johnny Depp's and Robert Englund's birthday. So, crazy. It's really crazy because this is a movie I haven't seen in a very long time, so I may forget certain things, but hopefully it'll be easy to remember once we get into it. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive right into the video. All right, and we are ready to get this started. Again, apologies that this is a late birthday reaction video. I wanted to get it on a certain day, but because we had to get ready for a birthday party and everything, it just wasn't in the cards, honestly. To be fair, I'm hoping that in this video that we'll actually get the golden chainsaw for coolest kill for Johnny Depp's character, and I'll bring up the fact of that as well. Anyway. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive right into the kill count of A Nightmare on Elm Street. So, start the video in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh gosh, it has been way too long since I've watched any Nightmare on Elm Street movies. They did not try to revive that franchise. The last time they did a reboot, it did not turn out well.
Welcome to the kill count, where we tally up the victims.
Oh yeah, I think this was one of the videos he did it in his old office before he started doing his new office, which I actually love his new setup.
The 1984 monster, written and directed by Wes Craven, that gave the world Freddy Krueger. Throughout the years, Fred Krueger and his sweater-wearing, finger-knife-tearing, dreaming parent self has become
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think this was one of the first horror movies that Wes Craven did.
Including a crossover and a reboot.
I mean, it was the first time he introduced Freddy.
A video game of his own, as well as
oh yeah, the video game.
Sorts of appearances in pop culture. But the other thing that makes this slasher so memorable is that he's not just a guy in a mask played by mostly interchangeable actors.
Plus, it's the fact that Robert Englund plays him so good.
Who portrayed the character in every film appearance until the remake. Although the series would eventually spiral out of control with a messy mythos and a cartoon like Freddy, none of that can take away from the stunning accomplishment that is Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. With all that in mind, let us begin this journey and get to the kills.
All right, let's do it.
The movie begins with some picture-in-picture shots of a dude hard at work. What you got?
Oh yeah, the first introduction to the finger knives.
And voila, we've got the finger knife glove, the most iconic murder weapon in horror history. Title card.
Such an iconic, tool that Freddy uses.
It's pretty obvious since nightgowns aren't your usual boiler room.
Sorry, I had to pause it real quick. I want to reiterate, this was the first time, I think they've also done this in later horror movies. This was the first time we got introduced to a side character that we follow for the majority of the movie until we meet the actual main character. Because, to be fair, I thought at first, when I watched this, I thought at first Tina was the main girl. But she becomes the first kill in the franchise. It's crazy, really. And Nancy ends up being the final girl for the majority of Nightmare on Elm Street.
She's being tormented by a fella wearing those Pinterest murder gloves. Better run as fast as you can, Tina.
Yeah,
no,
keep running.
Really run.
Or lightly jog.
Her tormentor jumps up behind her, but then she wakes up from her dream.
And he uses a weird laser sound effect to jump scare her.
Tina grabs her crucifix for comfort as we're introduced to Springwood's newest sensation, the Jump Rope Girls, in their glossy premiere music video.
I think Lynn Cara actually made a funny funny joke about that when Linkara referenced in the nursery rhyme. Oh, and who's that mullet-wearing, like, person? Oh, hold on. Sorry, I had to go deal with something real quick. I was going to reiterate before that happened that Linkara actually mentioned the crucifix part in the nursery rhyme for, Freddy. And he was dressed as Freddy for that video. He was just like, a cross? I'm not a damn vampire. I'll never forget that. Also, I think this was, like, before Sweeney Todd. This was, like, Johnny Depp's, like, first horror role. I think. I could be completely wrong. Also, loving the hairdo he had back in the 80s. Really, really crazy hairdo, but I love it. I really hope he puts, like, his kill on his, like, for the golden chainsaw. I'm really hoping that happens. I'll be sad if it wasn't the golden chainsaw for coolest kill. Because it is one of the best kills in the movie. Anyway, we're just going to continue on after that.
He tells me not to worry because everyone
and I had more phlegm come up my throat.
Like, yeah, one time I dreamt that I grew up and starred in a movie called Mordecai. Then he runs off to go practice his pirate swagger and eccentric voices. That night when they're all hanging out at Jen's place, she and Nancy learn that both their dreams feature the same long fingernailed freak.
Actually, they were more like finger knives or something.
Sorry,
the plot thickens.
Know it all. Want to tell me what they sound like too? Glenn
shouldn't have asked her to do that.
Then they hear that scree coming from out back. They go outside and Glenn makes the least threatening threat I've ever heard.
I'm gonna punch out your ugly lights, whoever you are.
And then gets friggin' sacked by Rod, who's there to bang girls and style his pompadour. And he's all out of pomade.
So what's going on here? An orgy or something?
Rod the type of guy to make screeching noises with a garden tool and pull a fucking switchblade.
Really, I don't even think that tiny little gardening tool would make that big of a noise.
She's a good girl. So he just has to lie there at night with his aching blue balls and listen to the loud-ass moaning going on from upstairs, where Rod bangs the grammar out of Tina.
Jungle Man fix Jane.
They're having their own fun. Oh, he's here! Still a really cool practical effect that they pulled that, how they pulled that off. Again, the cross is not going to help you, girls.
About to get one of the most infamous scenes of horror. Tina wanders outside to confront her dream man.
Oh yeah, the real true introduction to Freddy right here.
Freddy Krueger's first appearance, and it's dark and scary. And wait, what the fuck? Why does he look like Stuck
Yeah. Still a creepy effect though.
Finger knives are scary, and his first line's pretty cool.
Please, God.
This is God.
But then he's running like a drunk.
Ah, such a good line from, such a good first line from Freddy as well.
I'm not trying to shit on Freddy's first appearance. I think it's awesome, and it's got a ton of great moments, like when he shows off his masochism to Tina by slicing off.
Oh, there he is.
Or when
Yeah, you actually do. Oh, yeah.
Even those are a little silly.
You get a really good close-up effect, like look at like Freddy's makeup in this first in this first movie, and it's some really good makeup. Oh yeah, this kill right here. Oh gosh. Oh, he has smacked.
Tina slowly dragged up the wall of her room, which
it's such a cool effect how they pulled this kill off.
Nailing down the furniture and cameras in place while they turned it. Tina winds up on the ceiling, reaching out to Rod for help as he screams her name, but there's nothing he can do, and she falls to the bed.
And plopped to the ground.
To start a franchise.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's really, really crazy how they pull off this practical effect. It is just insane. And apologies if you hear noises in the background. That's my Discord going off and a lot of other things. I'll definitely turn it off once I get a chance to like finish editing this video. But yeah, this is one of the reasons I love this movie, just for the practical effects that they did back then before they started adding like the more, crazy, like animated effects and everything. And of course, like the cool little animation effects they add in this movie later on in the liners, some of them are actually pretty cool. But man, I love the practical effects in this.
And Rod nowhere to be found. So Nancy goes to the police station where her dad, Lieutenant Donald Thompson, is taking on the case. He and her mom, Marge, don't get along, but they do.
Oh yeah, the mom. And good old John Saxon.
Wasn't that serious?
Maybe you don't think.
Or is it Saxton or Saxon?
Marge, don't mind her.
You guys let me know in the comment section down below.
Next morning, she's boozing for breakfast. She tries to get Nancy to stay home from school.
Always gotta have that breakfast vodka every morning.
She'd rather learn geometry than get her makeup melted off by her mom's vodka breath. On the way to school, Nancy's being followed by a cop and abducted by a greaser, which we call real social bidet. Rod tells Nancy he's innocent, but before he can...
Isn't it kind of weird that, like, he looks like Ralph Macchio?
of the road. Pop Thompson turns
It's crazy,
to Nancy
right?
and is like, great bait, mate. Better get to school before you're late. In demonology class with her teacher Elise Rainier, Nancy has a hard time staying awake, even though the kid reading in front of the class is wearing the loudest shirt.
He's got a dope shirt. You're not. I won't lie about that.
More fun dream stuff, like Tina in a bloody body bag.
Oh, hi.
When Nance follows her out into the hallway, we get another indelible image, the
about
body
that.
bag being dragged away around the corner by an invisible force. Nancy runs to follow it, but she smacks into a hall
Oh.
rider wearing a very familiar outfit.
Where's your pass? Screw your.
How did that give her a nosebleed, though?
Attitude, Nancy, that monitor's been ordained in the Church of
No
Fingernail.
running in the
Nancy follows blood
hallways.
trail down the stairs into the
I'm
building,
sorry.
runs into
I'm
Fred
sorry.
Krueger
I'm gonna
for
have to,
herself.
like,
He's
quote a
still
lot
on
of
the
stuff.
kick and shows Nancy he's got a bunch of oozy maggots behind his nipples.
Oh,
Then he comes after her and
yeah.
corners her in the boiler room. And the only way Nancy avoids his glove and his waggly tongue is by
Oh,
burning herself
gosh.
against a hot pipe.
The
She
waggly
takes herself
Freddy
out.
tongue.
She sees that her dream injury followed her into the real world, so she visits Rod in jail again to hear him out. He tells her that Tina died from 4 slashes all at once, and further elaborates that he's also dreamt of a guy with knives for fingers. So Nancy
The
finally begins to
connection.
realize just
The
how
pieces
close
are
she is.
coming together.
It's pretty deep. That night she's enjoying some tubby time with her favorite blue bath pillow when she falls asleep, and Freddy gets real suggestive with his glove. Before things
Oh.
can get explicit, Nancy's woken up by her mom, warning her.
Really great scene, too.
But Nancy doesn't
Just
do
for
her
that
warning and
shot
falls asleep
alone.
again. And this time Fred gets straight to business and pulls her underwater, turning her tub into a deep blue sea and nearly drowning her in the bath. She's
Oh,
able to
jeez.
escape, but she ain't taking chances no more. Better break out these convenient stay-awake pills behind the mirror. They act V-fast. She gets a bedtime visit from Glenn, who still doesn't buy into all this dream murder stuff, so he's probably not the best person to ask to stand guard for you while you go on a dream journey, Nancy. But since he's the only option she has, they turn off the lights and she tells him to wake her up if she starts sleep freaking. In her dream, she goes outside and winds up at the police station where she peeps in on Rod, fast asleep on his jail cot.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
got a visitor. Wonder if it's conjugal. Nancy starts calling out for Glenn, but to no avail. Then Tina shows up again and gets all buggy, spitting out centipedes. and turning into eels and shit.
Okay.
Is this what your dreams are like? What did you eat before bed, Nancy? Freddy pops out and begins another chase
Oh.
sequence that leads Nancy to her home, where she tries to run upstairs only to find the steps have been turned into blocks
Just
of toothpaste.
instantly became
Freddy
wet
uses a
cement.
very
Oh!
unconvincing mask and pretends to be Tina for a minute.
Nancy, help me, please.
Until he
Not
gets
a very
bored
convincing
and
mask
wants
there,
to be himself
Fred.
again.
Save me from.
Nancy finally gets upstairs only to find Glenn asleep, and when she tries to wake herself up in the mirror, she instead gets attacked by Freddy, who jumps through it and pins her down on the bed. They have a feathery pillow fight, which looks like lots of fun.
This
Before
is not gonna go
Glenn
well.
Nancy's alarm clock goes off and wakes her up. She yells at Glenn because he had one job.
You had one job,
She's
Glenn.
remnant of her Freddy fun time, she realizes Rod is in danger. They go to the police station but get held up by Nancy's dad, who's working late on the case. So they're unable to get back to Rod as he's being visited by Freddy
Oh,
via a very
yeah.
metallic rolled-up
He's
bench
dead.
that wraps around his neck. It tightens and strangles him, then drags him across the floor and up the wall to hang him to death. They all find Rod dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. This was not really my favorite kill of the movie. To be fair, it just doesn't really feel like Freddy's style to try and hang someone. And again, it really was not his style because he already created the weapon. So what was the point of just like hanging the guy if you weren't even gonna slash him? In fact, what was the point of just even making the finger gloves if you weren't going to use it for your second kill, Fred? Seriously. I get that some killers in horror movies need to think outside the box when killing someone, but come on, Freddy.
Dreamstalker to her dad, who looks at Marge nervously as Nance goes into detail about the hat and the sweater and the finger. Mama Marge says it's time for Nancy to get help, so off to the Katja Institute for some science. Nancy goes to sleep under supervision, but when she
I don't
sleeps
know
in
how you would
REM
even
sleep,
pronounce
her
that
start
name.
going all earthquakey, and she convulses violently
Uh-oh.
in bed.
She's
Marge
having
finds
dream quakes.
find 3 things. Number 1, Nancy's hair is now white. It just might remain that white for the rest of her days. Number 2, I don't really have Hamilton lyrics for 2 or 3, but she's got a slash on her arm, and she's pulled Freddy's fedora out of her dreams and into reality. But Nancy, how will he milady his way around Dreamworld now? The next morning,
Yeah, now I really know
Nancy shows
Freddy's gonna
Marge
be
the
pissed
neat
that his
Fred
hat
Krueger
is gone.
inside the hat, you know, in case Fred ever had a coat check, I guess. Marge says he's not a threat because Fred Krueger is dead, and Nancy gets real mad that Marge has known about this dude the whole time. So mad that she smashes Marge's handle on the floor. Oh, that liquor's coming out of your allowance, young lady. Later on, after a scene very obviously shot in Venice Beach, despite the film's apparent Ohio setting, Nancy comes home to find the
Guessing
windows
some
open
shots they
and
couldn't
brought
really
out the
afford to
doors.
film and
Looks
where they
like
were
Mama
where
Marge
they
got
said they were gonna film, I
a
guess.
security system in what, a single afternoon? And
Oh,
this
yeah.
alcohol's a depressant. Marge
Backstory
takes Nancy down to
time.
the basement to finally fill her in on Fred Krueger's backstory.
He was a filthy child murderer who killed at least 20 kids in the neighborhood.
Oh, heavy shit. But know that here they only mention child murder. Still not great by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't until the reboot that Freddy explicitly became even more.
Yeah,
Nancy
the
asks
story
if
we get
justice is
retconned
his
a
job.
lot
Sounds like
lately
it
in the
is.
later sequels. But to be fair, just was a corrupt justice system. I will say one thing that the remake did was the one good thing that the remake did. I still don't like the remake, but the one good thing it did, it tried to make, like, you know, Freddy more of a monster in that one than it did in this movie. Because in this one, he was just like a normal, like, child killer. They tried to make him more like evil in the reboot. Though, then again, they tried to make him a good person by the end, saying that he was wrongfully accused. That honestly is dumb. That's one of the reasons why I don't like the remake when it tries to retell the story of Freddy Krueger and everything. But yeah.
So Marge admits that the parents trapped Freddy in an old warehouse and burned the mother down with him inside, killing him in the fire and taking for a death trophy his finger knife glove. Nancy calls Glenn, who, oh yeah, lives across the street in a crop top
So
paradise.
basically, Freddy's just been using a ghost, like, finger knives.
And then I guess Glenn's supposed to do the dirty work?
I grab the guy in my dream. You see me struggling, so you wake me up. We both come out, you whack the fucker, and we got him.
I still wouldn't be trusting this dude after he fell asleep last time, but Nancy gives him another chance and says to meet her on the porch at midnight.
Whatever you do,
Don't fall asleep.
Marge puts Nancy to bed and cleans up her coffeeware, not knowing that as soon as she's out of the room, Nancy...
I probably should have mentioned to you guys that I think I mentioned it in a community post, but it was so fun to meet Heather Langenkamp at a horror convention this year. Or actually, I think it was like last year. But it was so fun to meet her. She honestly is a very sweet person.
Off the ringer so she can't call back anymore. Nancy gets a call back though, only it's a horrible nail screeching noise that causes her to rip the phone line out of the wall. That doesn't stop the phone from ringing again though. Spooky. Better take that call.
Yeah, shouldn't answer it.
Important. Oh, tongue on the
Oh, gosh.
Shit down. Nancy runs downstairs to
Fun
find that she's been
fact,
locked
someone
inside her
actually
own house
brought
by
the
Marge,
prop
who's
of
too
that.
cheap to win
You
on
can
the
actually
couch.
buy it at someone's booth at the horror convention I went to.
Then we finally
And
get to see
they got
Glenn
Heather to
being able
sign
stay
that.
walk away when he gets
Oh
sucked
my
into his
gosh.
bed.
Oh, here we
Just
go.
turns into a straight
Yeah.
sinkhole, and then a gory
Bye-bye,
monster
Johnny
erupts
Depp.
with
Oh,
blood sealing the
yeah.
walls of Glenn's room with his innards. It's a fascinating kill that used the same upside-down room that Tina's kill did, only this one got a little
practical
out of
effect they
control,
did for this was
shocking some
really
crew members
cool
with electrified
also.
blood water and tilting the room off balance when the blood pooled to one side. Thus, the even weirder imagery of all that blood sliding off at an angle.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really upset if this kill does not get Golden Chainsaw for this video. Like, seriously, how can you not give it to that? It's one of the best, like, kills in the movie. To be fair, I wouldn't be unhappy if they gave it to Tina's kill, because it's also a great kill in the movie as well, but still. Glenn's kill is one of the best in this first movie. And it kind of brings up a point that I didn't even think about. The body count in this first movie is not really that high.
Nancy's dad gets
And
the
I'm
blood
not
out,
counting the
calls
whole
him and tells him that
flashback
it's his
thing
job
with,
to
like,
whack
Freddy
the fucker
and
when she
all
pulls
that,
out
but,
the
you know.
He just gives her some half-assed assurance that he will, then sends his deputy outside to keep an eye on her house. Now it's time for a Home Alone sequence. I feel like the 80s went on a real kick with kids
Yeah,
and teenagers
this came
setting
out
booby traps
appropriately at the right time for Home Alone.
With Fred Savage, same type of shit, man. Of course, Nancy's traps have a bit more of a you're next edge to them. Before the fun and games begin, she puts Marge to bed, and they have a heart-to-heart where they mostly make up. Yeah, Marge, maybe put down the bottle of bed vodka, huh? Leave it for the morning.
Yeah,
The dog
just-
and all. Nancy sets a couple of alarms. And
She'll immediately just
Goes
grab
to
that
a
bottle
dream
sooner or
basement where
later.
the dream finger knives are missing. Then a dream door leads her to a dream boiler room because when you have this place as a shooting location, you might as well get a lot
Very
of
small
Freddy
boiler
shows up
room
and
now that I
chases her,
think
scaring
about
her
it.
Off a platform that lands her back in her front yard.
Oh,
Right before her alarm goes
gosh.
off, he shows up again and she leaps on him to try to bring him back to her world. She
Got
wakes up
him.
in bed and it looks like nothing really happened. How do you explain that one, Nancy?
I'm crazy after all.
Yeah, jump scare time.
Crazy like a fox. We get a great final girl sequence here, beginning with Nancy smashing a glass over Fred's head. The cop across the
Oh
street
gosh,
goes
yeah.
to police for help.
Freddy
Fred
gets
finds
the
time to
crap
escape a
kicked
room
out of
where
him
he
in
gets
this.
the stomach
Oh,
of a sledgehammer
the
grapple
hammer
that
to
goes
the
down
chest.
stairs And trip over a wire, igniting a lamp full of gunpowder. God damn, Freddy, you clumsy as hell in the real world. They wind up in the basement where Nancy douses Fred with gasoline and lights him on fire.
Yeah,
He wouldn't like Freddy.
lighting him on
He's
fire.
about 20 pounds heavier in the face, and it looks fucking weird. It's actually an amazing fire stunt.
It's
performed by
just
Tony
a little
Cesare,
bit.
who did stunts in the
That's a
face
pretty
and
cool
Freddy's
fire
face in the
stunt.
First two screams. Dude tumbles down the stairs while on fire and
Oof.
begins to climb up them again, all of which was done in a single take. That's some Kane Hodder level stunt work, son. The cops finally take the screaming teenage girl seriously when they see her friggin' house is on fire. But if those burning footsteps are any
Oh,
indication, it looks like
he
Freddy's
going after
escaped the
Mama.
basement and gone upstairs to go after Marge. Nancy walks in to find a flaming Freddy straddling her mother. And after Donald
Yep.
walks in and puts out the fire with a sheet, they pull it back to find Marge's charred corpse floating over an eerie abyss. It sinks down into
Dang,
nothingness.
yeah, another really cool practical effect they did.
Now do you believe me?
Yeah, you kinda owe your daughter for life for this one, Lieutenant. Nancy sends her dad downstairs because she knows she's gotta finish this shit. She turns her back to the bed and allows Freddy to rise up.
Not dead yet.
The sheets like an impatient, murdering newborn. But she tells him that it's too late for him to get her, and that the whole thing is just a dream.
I take back every bit of energy I gave you.
Quite a gamble. Let's see if it pays off. And it does. Wow.
Yeah, it does.
Static effects there. She walks
Somehow.
right onto her front porch, where it's a sunny day and her mom hasn't yet been barbecued. Good deal. Oh, and look, all her friends are alive too. Wow, Nance, you made out like a bandit with this ending. Should I take back all those kills from the count? Yeah, not so fast, first timers, because it looks like Glenn is driving
yeah.
the Batmobile, and they don't want that top down.
He's
at all.
still there.
This whole end tag scene is kind of.
And this would pretty much set up the whole thing of like, if you kill Freddy in the real world, he goes back to the dream world. So you can never really get rid of Freddy Krueger.
What happens after Marge sees the jump rope girl singing their one-hit wonder? Watch this mannequin in just a second.
Oh yeah, this effect. The rag doll.
Kind of a crap ending to stick on one of the greatest horror movies of all time. But you know what? It doesn't negate the kills. So let's see how many we've got at the numbers.
Okay.
4 people died in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, which is
not a very big body count for Freddy's first outing.
The victims, 2 were men and 2 were women, making Freddy a certified equal opportunity murderer. With a runtime of 91 minutes, that comes out to a kill on average every.
All right, give us the golden chainsaw.
Give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Glenn. It was tough.
Yes.
Since they both
Yes, thank you,
James. This one might have
James.
just won out because of the accidental slide all the blood does at the end. It just
What
looks
was the
like
dull
it's
machete,
cool.
though,
Don't
now that I
shave the
think
lamest
about
that
it?
goes to Rod. It's a fine kill, but compared
Yeah,
to the
I
others, it's
figured.
memorable.
All right, there you have it, guys. That was my reaction to Dead Meat's kill count on the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Again, not a very good, like, low, having it be, like, a low body count for Freddy's, like, first outing. Still one of my favorite movies, though. Honestly, still a really good movie. I'm so glad that the golden chainsaw was given to Glenn's kill, because, again, it is one of the best kills in the movie. And before I end off the video, happy late birthday to Robert Englund and Johnny Depp. Both amazing, great actors. Hope we get to see more of them in more, horror-related media down the road, basically. Something like that. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell to never miss a video. And with that, I will see all you awesome guys and gals later. Bye-bye!